of the T20 World Cup, all thanks to the Florida rain. And the happiest guy probably in our newsroom is sitting right next to me.
No, no. I'll not be happy. Obviously, when it's India versus Pakistan, you actually want India to win. I'm sure all the Pakistanis also back their team to win. But then seriously, I'm not happy for that. I would have been happy if Pakistan lost two more games and then they would have been eliminated. Yeah, come on. Why did
you wanted to see them lose to Ireland also?
Exactly. Why did the rain become a reason for their elimination? But frankly speaking, it's a dampener, right? You actually wanted to have a game. You actually wanted to see what could have happened. Now we'll never know what could have, right?
Yeah, I think the umpires tried their best, to see if they could get even 5 overs in per side.
Yeah.
But clearly, you saw the ground and how wet it was even after, despite so many hours of not seeing any rain in the area. And then eventually the heavens opened up finally and the game was called off.
It was called off, and I think the writing was on the wall. We all knew somewhere that this game might go down the drain, and I'm just happy for one thing that it started raining, and that's why it was called off. Because remember, the match referee was Jawagal Srinath, and if he had to take that call of abandoning this game, I'm sure all of social media would have exploded saying that a former India fast bowler sent Pakistan packing and all sorts of headlines, but that didn't happen. So I'm glad for that.
No, but that's a very valid point that Pakistani fans currently are looking for all kinds of reasons.
Right.
I think the biggest one they should actually be looking at is how their team played poorly, not why the game was held in Florida.
It was their doing,
or whether the match referee was Jagaval Srinath. It was their doing. It was their poor performance against USA. And gotta say, history for USA, man.
Absolutely,
USA for them, we gotta applaud them because they played such brilliant cricket against Pakistan. And nobody expected them. Even in this group, people thought Ireland had a better chance of qualifying than USA.
Qualifying, yes, but beating Pakistan, I said that they will beat Pakistan. You also said that they might go down to USA. And we obviously put that bite out as well when Pakistan lost to
I said I'm expecting Pakistan to lose one of these games because they might beat the best teams in the world, but they lose to what, like, they're so unpredictable. You know who they are going to lose to. You don't know that. So yeah, in terms of Pakistan, love, let's now just talk about a few pointers. What went wrong for Pakistan this World Cup?
I think we'll have to go back a little for that. It's not just about this World Cup. I mean, all that power changes that happened in Pakistan in PCB, and after that, the captaincy shift. I mean, it was like a shuttlecock, right? A captaincy was like a shuttlecock in Pakistan cricket. Sometimes it's in this court, sometimes it went to that court. So Babar Azam versus Shaheen Afridi, and all of their PCB chairman being sacked, new chairman coming in, Babar Azam traveling with his entire family.
Mohammad Hafiz also, when he went to New Zealand with the team and then coming back and not getting the job.
Right, and you will also have to go back to the ODI World Cup for that. Pakistan didn't play well there as well, right? Yeah. After that, there was a captaincy shift.
That cost Babar the captaincy.
But then he got it back again.
But the upheaval in Pakistan cricket is as such that the moment the power dynamics shift, from one group to the another, captaincy also changes. You see what happened with Babar. Babar was, removed from captaincy even when the World Cup was going on and Pakistan weren't playing well when they were in India. There was a growing clamor, that Babar should be sacked. And, PCB put out those feelers out in the media even before Pakistan team had returned that Babar is going to get the sack. And then eventually it happened. They made Shan Masood the captain in Test. Then they looked at Shaheen Afridi in limited overs cricket. And what did he get? One series and they booted him out, boss. They booted him out. So another big point I want to raise is, what has Babar done after he got the captaincy?
Nothing.
They could not even beat a C New Zealand side.
Mitchell McClenaghan also actually tweeted that out.
That they
the other day that they couldn't beat New Zealand C side because some of the Pakistani fans were targeting.
Not even one player was part of that top 50.
I think just talking about Babar a little more, I think it has to do a lot more than just his captaincy. I mean, his batting also did all the wrong for him. Had his batting clicked, I think we would have seen a different captain as well, which never happened, and I think it doesn't happen at all. I remember that game in the, I think it was the USA game where Babar was actually on 9 of 22 balls. He scored
Wow.
43 ball, 44 in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
end.
44 ball,
But
44
then
runs for.
9 of 22 balls, when you're opening the batting, no matter how bad the track is, at that moment also we didn't know that this track would also produce a result so low. But then they actually lost the match because of Babar, that one. And that's the only match which I feel that was the reason why Pakistan were knocked out, because they were obviously, they had to lose to India, right? Let's say that. They had to
You
lose to India.
thought they'll definitely lose to India. I was
See,
like,
they have
maybe
beaten
they have
India
a
this
chance.
once in the T20 World Cup, and I think that's a fluke. We'll have to say that. That night, if you remember, there was a lot of dew. Had
Yeah.
Pakistan bowled second, we would have seen some different
Could have been
result.
different, could have been different, but it's now
And,
we can say that in
their
hindsight.
fans would have went on crying, saying that there was due. But did any Indian say that there was due? We all accepted the defeat, right? And that's just
Yeah, we
one
had to.
instance where they beat, and that was a fluke. We'll have to say that. So that's why I'm saying that Pakistan had to lose to India, but they had that game in the bag versus USA. What were they doing in that match? Super over tak baat gayi.
Super over the baat gayi. I completely agree with you. That's what I'm going to bring a few points forward about Babar's captaincy. You know, for me, the way he's captained this side, you could see that this was coming. You know, they could not beat that New Zealand side. Then they went to Ireland.
Right.
What happened there? They lost even one game to Ireland.
The first match only.
One game to Ireland they lost.
Imagine.
Then England they could not beat. England also they could not beat. Then what happened? They come to the World Cup where everybody, you know, sort of is hoping that something, you know, is gonna be better. A lot of finger pointing will happen now. But Babar's captaincy has also, you know, it needs to be questioned. With what
Babar is
happened?
going to be sagged.
No,
He can say,
he should
I'm
be.
telling you, he's going to be sagged.
He
as soon as
should
they
be
get
sad.
back.
Now I think they need to really look at some other captain because, boss, 2019 ODI World Cup, it's done and dusted, and you lost. You were, you know, you lost your captaincy. After that, Shaheen Afridi wasn't even given a proper chance for that matter. Then you took away the captaincy wrong, gave it back to Babar in the hope that, oh, maybe this time it will work. But now it hasn't worked. And now you're out in the group stage after losing to an associate nation. And some of his points that I want to say is his captaincy with what he has picked in his side. You look at Azam Khan, okay? A lot of people looked at Azam Khan and said, why is he in the 11? What has he done, you know, after coming into the Pakistan side? Even when they were playing England, Azam Khan had a torrid time in England.
Right.
Had a very poor,
He was
poor
exposed,
series
totally
against
exposed.
England. Could not take catches, could not score runs. Then again, you tried him in this World Cup.
But
It
I
did
think
not work.
just interrupting you there. I mean, Azam Khan, if you talk about him, yes, many experts and fans also believe that he deserved a place in the Pakistan side. So I'm not going to put that
So
totally
what
on
about
Babar
their
Azam.
opening? No, I'm going
He
to
was
say
very bad, but I'm not going to put that just on Babar Azam.
no, not just Babar Azam. Of course, the management needs to be questioned.
Every fan wanted him in
Gary Kirsten,
the Pakistan side after that
Kirsten
PSL
is
performances.
their coach, but I don't think he has had a long run with this side.
Yeah.
He's just come in, so maybe can't say much about Gary Kirsten.
They
for now.
always have different coaches for different
but
tournaments.
my problem with Babar Azam also is like they had other openers in the side. They could have opened with Usman Khan also for that matter. But Babar and Rizwan always think that they should be opening.
What's that guy, Sam Ayub?
And Saeem Ayubi is also there.
Come on.
Fakhar Zaman.
Imagine.
Fakhar Zaman is in. I can't believe. You know, I'm losing out on words when I feel that a player like Fakhar Zaman
Had Sam
has to
Ayub and
bat at
Fakhar
number
Zaman
3.
opened.
Has to
Imagine.
bat at number 3. No, I'm okay with. You can't have both players. Like the problem is with India, you can see that Virat and Rohit can go gung ho at the beginning. Virat can take his time. With Pakistan, it's like you have to look at Rizwan and Babar both playing the same sort of knocks, and that doesn't help in the current day and age. I think that also needs to be questioned. Another factor that needs to be questioned is why Mohammad Amir was given that super over. Who do you think is the best bowler in this Pakistani side? Who do you think?
Shaheen Afridi.
Shaheen Afridi, right? But I don't
with
know.
experience. I mean, imagine.
There was a time Amir was not even getting into this side. They got him back from
Imagine,
retirement. He took back his retirement in a way, came to this Pakistan side, and now you
He may
give
be
it the
just 32,
super
but
over.
yeah, he retired. Imagine after retirement, Amir is the same guy who used to brag about Babar Azam, used to
Yeah,
criticize him
criticize him heavily.
on every show. He did that, and I remember one of his interviews where he said that had he been in the side, he would have done this, he would have done that. Why didn't you do that? What was that super over? I mean, it's the same thing, right? When you actually wear that shoe, you know where it actually pinches. So that's the thing that has happened with Muhammad Amir. But where did Imad Wasim come into the squad?
So that's what Mohammad Amir and Imad Wasim, nobody thought. And I heard Mohammad Hafiz the other day, and he said those guys did not play any domestic cricket.
Right.
They did not do anything at all to, sort of have a chance of getting into that side. But he said it was all politics and it
Right,
was
right,
all
right, right.
favoritism on behalf of the captain Babar Azam.
And that never stops in Pakistan cricket, by the way. Favoritism never stops. I'll just have to want to quickly compare these two sides now, India and Pakistan. One of the major differences, while there are so many differences between the two nations, but then just on the cricketing front and in this tournament, imagine Imad Wasim, who had a good PSL, he was suddenly brought back into the side. Imagine India, who
He was
is carrying actually Yuzvendra Chahal with them, but then he also had a very good IPL, but he isn't playing any match because India knows that here is a side which has been playing a certain format for the country, so you have to back those players. You can't suddenly bring back a player after his good domestic performance. You just can't do that in a tournament of that stature. So I think this has actually hit
Imad
back.
Wasim also went viral for quite a few different reasons during the PSL final, but
Let's not-
but that besides the point. My problem with this Pakistani side is you try to get these players together, hoping that they would gel well after what happened, but clearly they are not all on the same page. I tell you why. Usually Shaheen Afridi would be your go-to bowler when you talk about a super over, but putting the ball in Mohammad Amir's hands, in a crucial crunch situation, I thought that showed you that there's a clear gap in thinking as well as a rift between probably the two of them. There are two factions in
Right.
Pakistan cricket,
Spot on.
and that's why Babar Azam did not give the ball to Shaheen Shah Afridi, because maybe he did not want him to take the credit, perhaps, if they would have won. But you see what
These
happened.
questions will be raised,
No,
obviously.
no. These questions will be raised, and they ought to be raised after Shaheen Afridi is your best bowler, hands down. I think you ask anybody, maybe he's not bowled that well in his last few games, but he's still your number one pick, right?
He
Among
is.
the bowlers.
But my point is, even if Muhammad Amir bowled that over, how could they give 18 or 19 runs?
The fielding, the kind of fielding, Babar can
But
shot,
that guy-
Babar was pissed. But you look at the kind of fielding they did during that over. There were wides, there were buys over their wides, then there were throws. The keeper caught the ball. They had run one extra
That's
run on
my
the wide.
point.
Then he threw the ball. They got another run. Three
What
runs
was
for
the
a wide
keeper
ball.
doing? He was again and again throwing that ball down.
Right.
There was no need to do that. There was simply no need to do that.
आई थिंक वो कहा, मतलब सच्ची में कहते हैं ना कि अपने पैर पे कुल्हाड़ी खुद मारना।
पैर मारना।
अगर पाकिस्तान अपना पैर लेके गया और कुल्हाड़ी के आगे रख दिया, ले भाई मार लो। It's like, it's sad because India Pakistan people were expecting maybe we'll get to see that a second time. It's not going to happen anymore because Pakistan are out. But let's now speak a little bit about USA. As you would say, the United States of India, for that matter, in this World Cup. Those guys have really done something incredible.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yes, there are most of the Indian guys who are playing there, but then these are the guys who are actually American citizens. They practice there, and also the fact that they are actually doing their regular jobs, and just to take out time to play cricket and to take your game to that level where you actually compete with teams who have a history of winning matches, who have history of winning titles, and to beat them.
I was reading Saurabh Netravalkar,
Yeah.
a guy who took both Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma's wicket, bowled the super over against Pakistan. He's become an overnight star, for that matter. Hails from India, so everybody is talking about it. That guy has got a patent. Okay, he has taken a leave from his office from Oracle in Silicon Valley, and he's playing cricket. And
Wow.
incredible, because he's not even a full-time cricketer. And for a side like that to beat, team like Pakistan, where cricket, is huge.
These are the
It's
stories you
massive. And
actually
they gave
want
a
to
good
hear,
fight.
right?
They gave a good fight to India also, for that matter.
They did.
Let's not forget that India also never got it easy against USA.
Had that catch been taken,
At one
Surya
point,
Kumar Yadav.
at 39 for 3, we were all worried.
Yeah.
We were all worried looking at India that boss Rishabh Pant is also out. We have got Surya Kumar Yadav and Shivam Dube batting now. Both of them are woefully out of form. And what's going to happen next? But thankfully, they bailed us out then. But credit to USA. This game is washed out. Now they have qualified. Quite a few surprises. Love this World Cup. Never thought,
Yeah.
New Zealand, of all teams, New Zealand would not be able to qualify for the Super 8s. And India always struggles against New Zealand in
And
T20
they're out of the
World
way.
Cups. In T20 World Cups, we would
Someone else
always.
took them out of the way.
And
Siddhant,
thank you.
Siddhant, actually, that's the beauty of T20 cricket, right? And that's actually where ICC needs to be appreciated, where they actually included 20 teams and allowed the associate nations to play. I always believe that in a T20 game, anything can happen. There are no underdogs in T20 cricket because you don't require actually to play like a unit. You just require one magical performance with the bat or with the ball, and you're through. A couple of good overs can shift momentum, and you're through. So that's why I really don't feel that there are any upsets. But yes, beating such big sides, you feel that way. But then 20 overs aside, anything can happen in those games.
Anything can happen. I think South Africa are a prime example. Even Pakistan for that matter. Last World Cup, you remember Zimbabwe beat them. South Africa lost to Netherlands and could not qualify for the semis because of that loss. This World Cup also, if you have to call it that, not upsets, but perhaps the teams that were thought of as underdogs beating the favorites, be it Afghanistan for that matter, be it West Indies beating New Zealand after being 30 for 5. At one point, I think South Africa also were worried that they would lose to New Zealand when they were 12 for 4.
Right.
Save for
Netherlands, not New Zealand.
Netherlands, save for David Miller's 59 not out. Otherwise, South Africa probably would have lost that game also.
Absolutely, but just last line on Pakistan. Suddenly I remember.
Like Pakistan ke baare mein main to bolunga hi. Bolo.
Suddenly I remembered this thing as soon as we talked about Netherlands. You remember in the 2021 or 22 World Cup, they were dependent on Netherlands
to beat
They
South
wanted
Africa.
the Netherlands to do that dirty work for them. In the next World Cup, the current World Cup, they were dependent on Ireland to actually beat USA. And I think by the time the next World Cup comes, they'll probably be dependent on Uganda because that's where their cricket is going. And to sum it up, Qudrat ka Nizam.
Qudrat ka Nizam.
Qudrat nahi maar mari.
Yeah, I think it balances itself out, right? They got the luck last time around. This time around, it wasn't happening for them. And at the end of the day, they have to blame themselves.
You don't actually like to see those things happen when rain washes away games, but then that's how it is.
No, but it was always about that, right? They did not have it. They had their destiny in their own hands. Once upon a time, they lost to USA, and it's their doing. So nothing else we have to add on that. And on that note, let's say thank you so much for watching. I can see there are 3 people currently watching us right now. There'll be plenty more hopefully in the future. So please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel.
Just the start.
Just the start, and hopefully you're liking our content during this T20 World Cup. We'll bring you loads more when India play Canada tomorrow. So until then, it's goodbye.
See you.
Bye.